Hi, everybody. It's your favorite trainer with a belt buckle. Here is a video podcast. My hair is all screwed up. Don't make fun of me. But I talk about the 11 commandments of becoming a successful personal trainer. I'm reading this from my book, How to Become a Successful Personal Trainer. Listen to it, share in your story, comment below. Let us know how we can help you become successful, because the best certification in fitness, it's all about showing up. Have a great day. Howdy, y'all, and welcome back to the Show Up Fitness Podcast. Today is episode number 34 on a beautiful Saturday morning, helping you become successful. We always appreciate it when you throw this into your story, because we're changing the fitness industry one qualified trainer at a time. And when someone says, how do I become a personal trainer? The first certification that comes to mind needs to be Show Up Fitness CPT, and that is the word ubiquitous. My favorite word. I talk a lot about it in my book, and today I'm going to be reading from my book, The 11 Commandments. As we get out and we get in front of more personal trainers, we're going to be in Miami at the end of the month with our new partnership with Lifetime. To date, we are on October 5th or 6th, whatever day it is. We've partnered with over 210 gyms worldwide, and we're going to increase that number. There's over 40,000 gyms in the world, something like that, and we have a small percentage of penetration, and we need to be everywhere. Why? Because too many trainers quit. Too many trainers have a passion for this, and they're not able to turn it into a career. Go onto the forums of Reddit, Facebook groups. Why is it that every single time someone asks, how do I become a trainer? The four same certifications come up: NASM, ACE, ISSA, NSCA. Sometimes you'll see ACSM. The big six need to be Show Up Fitness CPT number one. You actually get to ask questions. And how do people hear about that? From you. You need to spread the word. If you've gone through this program, you know how awesome it is. Yes, I'm biased. I'm the belt buckle trainer, the guy flexing over here with my biceps. I know we're the best, but people need to hear it from you. So get into your story, talk about the training industry, call people out in a respectful way. And you can do that by saying, I was at the gym today. You know what I saw? A trainer on their phone, or with their hands crossed, or their hands were in their pocket the entire time. And I really felt for that client, because they're paying $100, $150 per hour, and they're getting a half-ass service. The professionalism is not there. Then you take a step back and you look at the landscape. Why aren't we respected? That's fucking why. And it pisses me off. I get fired up because people do not look at this career as this job, as a career. You all want to be a trainer, you can do it part-time. You got bullshit certifications out there. Get certified in a month. Use your experience as the leverage. What? No. Just because you've been in the gym for 5 years doesn't make you a trainer. You need to understand the fundamentals of movement. Really excited to get Dr. Chaliwa on here. We're going to talk about the fundamentals. He's going to break down everything about NASM, the OPT model, why it's bullshit. But then we're going to get into all of these quick fixes that you see trainers. And I'm not even going to call them trainers. I'm going to call them influencers, because they don't have the fundamentals, anatomy, programming, all things that we teach you. And so the workout of the day, nothing crazy. If you're in the gym and you're helping people, it can be difficult to get your workouts in. So before today's podcast, I did 2 sets of 5 pull-ups. Nothing crazy. But by the end of the day, 5 here, 5 there. I'm going to get 100 pull-ups in, because my number one priority right now, which I've sucked at, is my book. I'm going to read you something from Put Your Ass Where Your Heart Wants to Be from Stephen Pressfield. He has a lot of great books, and this is in my backpack, and I've been reading it every day, 1 page, because it gets my mind into the right framework. Chris, put your ass in the seat and write, because my mind will just pop up. Oh, you know what? I should do this. Or maybe I should reach out to this person for a podcast. Or maybe I should do this blog. Or maybe I can do this new thing. Shut up, Chris. You have way too many tentacles out there. Bring them back in and focus. So I love this, page 74. Here's my frame of mind as I sit down to work. This is the day. There is no other day. This is the day. In other words, I release every thought that smacks of, maybe we can do this some other time. There is no other time. Today is the Super Bowl. Today is the day I give birth. Today is the day I die. I fucking love that, because it puts you in a mindset, Chris. I'm talking to you right now, that there's no tomorrow. Don't push this off anymore. I've been telling people the new version of the book's going to be out for a long time. The resistance comes in. and I have some new bullshit excuse. It needs to be perfect. I need to put this new thing in there. Serendipitously, yes, there has been some positive things coming from the delay, but I need to get this done because my book needs to be in every gym, because every day that's not in every gym, a trainer out there is going to quit. A trainer out there is going to hurt someone. And I am responsible for that because no one else out there is taking that responsibility of how shitty the industry is and trying to change it. They may have a mentorship here or something over there, but no one's getting into the front of trainers until you go into Reddit or Facebook group and you consistently see, how do you become a trainer? Show up in a CPT, show up in a CPT, show up in a CPT. Until that ubiquity comes, I got a lot of work to do. And I'm asking you for help. Get into the forums, get into Facebook groups and challenge people. And I did that not too long ago with someone who said, get ACE, ISSA, or NASM. Those are the best ones. And I said, do you have those? And he said, I have one of the three. So you haven't even tested the other ones. If you know someone who has any of those five, NSCA, ACSM, ACE, ISSA, NASM, and they go through the show up in a CPT, money back guarantee, you will learn more in 1 month. And if you don't, I'll buy an expensive ass bottle of whiskey, tequila, whatever you want. That's how confident I am. So let's get into the book, these 11 commandments. Now, one of my BHAGs for the year is to get 100 podcasts out there so that the ubiquitousness of Show Up Fitness CPT will be more prevalent versus today, versus 6 months ago, because we didn't have the audio aspect. I want to get on Mind Pump and their podcast, because actually I think it's Saul. He has a little PDF you can download, how to become a successful personal trainer. Probably didn't know my book was out there labeled that, but we need to get in front of larger audiences, because again, that's what pisses me off when I go through these forums and you constantly see people suggesting the route that leads to failure. And so you can make this into a career. I've been doing this for 20 years. I wake up 4 o'clock excited to get to work. I don't wake up and go, ugh, this blows. No, I get up and I go, what can I do today? How can I help more trainers? Because I want trainers to be respected. I had a great call the other day. I was actually in person with Arash from the Prehab guys, and we were talking about why the physical therapy industry had such a great decrease. It was a very large decrease of employment, like 12% left the field, because it's not sustainable to have a $200,000-$300,000 student loan and be getting paid $70,000, $80,000. And you're just going through this insurance mill, treating 30 patients in one day. So they change careers. What if, put this into your BHAG, what if qualified personal trainers become the new therapy? And that's something I talk about in my book, these centers that we're going to create, which we are creating, where you have a team lead who is a DPT, but all of the trainers there are on that level. And how do you get to that level? I'm not saying we're going to be practicing as therapists, as you'll see here as one of my commandments. No. What I'm saying is you have the competency to know what the piriformis does. You understand that there is a link between breathing, the diaphragm, and the psoas major. You know all of the hip flexors, the 4 quad muscles. What are the 4 rotator cuff muscles? But more importantly, what do they all do? They stabilize the glenohumeral joint. There's 4 joints. You have the sternoclavicular, acromioclavicular, scapulothoracic, glenohumeral. You can have conversations on the same level with these medical professionals. That's how we're going to change the game. Double down on your anatomy, no programming, understand the principles of movement. That's how we're going to change the game. And that's what we're going to do. I bet you my belt buckle. So let's get into these commandments. I'm going to read this right out of my book. So the 11 commandments to become a successful personal trainer. Number 1, show up on time with a smile. I had a conversation with top UK celebrity trainer. That was Mr. Luke. He exhaustively explained how 90% of certified coaches in the UK quit within 18 months. Interesting. Sounds kind of familiar, right? Because the survey I did in the United States, 90% quit within the first year. As he explained, too many trainers don't look the part. They lack the fundamentals of movement and have piss poor professionalism. My clients would complain about how common it was for their Hollywood trainer to show up 30 minutes late to a session. And I just thought, how the heck does a trainer show up 30 minutes late to a session? I'll give you one mulligan per year. Outside of that, you're fired. I don't understand how you can be late to a session. If you fucking tell me that it's because of traffic or my alarm, you should get throat checked right there by your client, and they get to do that, and you don't get to punch them back or anything. It should just be a bam right there in the throat. Like, really? Prepare. Be proactive, not reactive. I see trainers all the time at the big gyms. I'll be writing, I look over, it's 6:59, and the trainer runs in, they clock in, and they're sprinting upstairs. It's like, I wonder if we really like that, or we're chasing that stress. It's like, it brings excitement. Oh, I just made it in time. I wonder how your streams of revenue are doing. I wonder how much you have saved up in the bank. I wonder if you have enough money to support yourself to leave for a month, or if you were to get sick. Do you have those emergency funds? Are you helping people that you really enjoy? Or are you training a bunch of clients who you don't like? How do you become successful? It's about being proactive, and professionalism is huge. And it just starts with a simple smile, showing up on time. Number 2, build that career capital. Imagine the following scenario. An enlistee walks up to a 4-star general and confidently says, I want to become a general just like you, but I want to do it in 4 months. What do I need to do? Boom, throat check again. The general will be like, what the hell? Shut your mouth when you're talking to me. Get back in line, soldier. Why do we have these false expectations? I want to make $100,000 in 2 months by training online. Shut up. It's not going to happen. That influencer world is bullshit. You're following people who literally are not doing what they say. The world is a big scam on Instagram, on TikTok. You may have 1 or 2 people have some paid media and they get in front of you, but everything that they're saying is false. You need to be in the trenches, understanding anatomy, programming, people, the skills that lack in the industry, the 3 big ones. Trade skills. That's the hands-on learning. Get to our next seminar. In 2024, we're going to have one every month at a lifetime. That's what's going to help change the industry. Understand the business. That's by getting in the trenches and training all the time. And then people skills. Ironically, when I was talking to Arash about why so many therapists aren't making it, it's because they've tripled down on the trade. They understand therapy to a T in all injuries, but they don't have the people skills, or they don't have the business skills. That's really interesting to me. So you need to focus on just getting the fundamental, the generalist is what they call it. That's about 3,000 hours of experience. Now, when I first wrote my book, Tony Gentilcore said 3 to 5 years in a commercial gym. And I like that because that's his mindset when he started out 25 plus years ago. But now we're finding Show Up Fitness CPTs are doing what trainers used to do for 3-4 years in less than a year, because you understand the fundamentals and you're implementing strategies that work, versus trainers 10 years ago, 20 years ago. They had to do and go through this process of failing because they didn't understand how to program. I'm going to give everyone a squat for the next 3 months, a back squat. How do they do? They don't do very well. So I need to modify this and do a goblet squat. Oh, this is great. I'm going to start doing that. I finally learned that doing a goblet squat is where I should start. 4 months later, whereas you go through Show Up Fitness CPT, you understand how to properly recognize and assess the regression that's appropriate for the person in front of you. And so then you're going to significantly grow faster, but more efficiently. And Cal Newport's book, So Good They Can't Ignore You, he came up with this term called career capital. I didn't create that. But in Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell, he states that 10,000 hours is the number of hours it takes to achieve greatness. If you were to train 30 hours a week for 52 weeks, that's 1,500 hours per year. It takes someone about 7 years to obtain those 10,000 hours. For me, personally, it took about 8 years. I trained at different gyms. I interned at the University of Connecticut, Cardiac Rehab Center, physical therapy, taught over 1,000 hours, 2 trainers, wrote for Stack.com, volunteered for the Boys and Girls Club, wrote 2 books. So you are able to call yourself an expert when you get those 10,000 hours. Buy those hours, and we'll talk about that in a second. Practice what you preach. Number 3, my rule of thumb when it comes to looking the part, of a trainer is that you need to be in better shape than the clientele that you're trying to attract. So if you're going to be working with NPC competitors, you need to have gone through that process, probably placed in the top 3 in numerous shows, but you need to be looking the part at that moment. I'm not talking about stage ready, but don't put on 50 pounds and then tell everyone how you become an NPC competitor. That pisses me off when you see trainers talk about their past. What about today? Do you look the part today? If you're going to be working with people who've lost a lot of weight and you have a story that you've lost 50 pounds, you could still be overweight to even obese. That's all right, because you're working with a group of people who want to follow in your footsteps for success and not just yo-yo dieting. I say this a lot, and that's why we created the Show Up Fitness strength standards and conditioning and wellness, because it's not just about what you look like, it's who you can bring and help. And if you have a cool story, talk about that story. Constantly be training. And then we have these hunk tips that are new for the book. And this hunk tip, hire a trainer. If you were to open up a restaurant, wouldn't you want to learn about the competition? In his book, Made in America, Sam Walton would go into every convenience store and you'd ask his C-suite team, those are the executive managers, what they observed, how they could implement successful strategies. Essentially, he's going through a Swift. You need to hire a trainer and write down their strengths, weaknesses, something you enjoyed. And if your thoughts right now are it's too expensive or I already know how to train, then you're thinking like the average trainer. Successful trainers get out of their comfort zone and do what others are not. I still get trained monthly. I learn from other trainers. You need to go hire a trainer. As you'll notice, I do put a lot of books in my book because you should constantly be reading. The next time someone says the industry is saturated, ask them, what is your certification? Or what was your certification? It's going to be one of those 5 that I mentioned without an internship, without any hands-on learning. Guarantee it. Number 2, ask them what books they're currently reading. Oh man, I'm so busy. Traffic, bullshit, victimhood mentality. You need to read more. You need to hire a trainer. Number 4, soft skills. Soft skills are human-centered. Relatability, being able to communicate well, working well with others, being great at listening and leading people, etc., etc. In contrast to hard skills, which are more technical, like crunching numbers, giving presentations, and writing. Some of the most successful trainers I've seen in my life are bartenders because they're in the service industry. Look at those 3 skills that I talk a lot about in my new version. Trade skills. That's going to seminars, asking questions to trainers. Ask me questions. I'll put it on the podcast. How do you train this type of person? We'll go through the CCA. The business skills, setting up those streams of revenue. The people skills with your client, yes, but also going out there and networking. Who's on your team right now? If you don't have a therapist, you don't have a registered dietitian, you're behind. You need to level up by learning how to reach out to those professionals and let them know that you're not like every other bullshit trainer. You're not going to hurt their clients. And the funny thing is, I was talking to Tyson about this, one of our stud interns. Tyson, you're a rock star, my man. So when you have these conversations with these actual career-driven professionals, they look at us like, wow, this is great. I love this. We need more of it. But the industry is so concerned about fucking Instagram, how many likes you got, doing bullshit. I'm going to be an online coach. No, you aren't. It looks great on paper. So does communism, but it doesn't work in the end. When trainers reach out to me and say, I want to be an online coach, in my mind, I go, you're not going to make it. If you start out thinking that, it's probably not going to happen. Very high percentage, because you need to understand how to train other people. I don't give a shit about your 15 years being in the gym, doing chest and triceps, back and buys. 3 sets of 10. Oh, I got this great new program for you. No, you don't. It's been done before. You need to be different, and different is educated. Number 5, learn the business and the psychology. So I always find out who my clients follow, where they like to eat, like to socialize, and what books they're reading. Have you ever wondered what drives a client to purchase a $3,000 television or a $50,000 car, but they balk at $500 worth of personal training? Why is that? One, it's the confidence that trainer lacks. But we were having a conversation the other day here in the gym when we're doing our in-person here in Santa Monica. And one of the students was talking about, $100 per session was kind of a lot. And then we were having this conversation about our clients will say stuff that just blows your mind. Like they'll bitch and complain about a $8 smoothie, but then they'll give you $3,000 for personal training. And so they understand that value where newer clients don't. So that's why you have to play the game and ask great questions. So you have to learn the business and the psychology of your clients. Most trainers suck at the business side of things. You don't want to be training at the age of 75, do you? You need to learn how to save and invest for retirement. If a client invests $3,000 for 3 months of training, here's what you need to do. Put $600 into a savings account, $300 for taxes, $300 for retirement. Second thing you need to do is divide the remaining $2,400 over the next 3 months. Don't be the average trainer who spends all that on toys and bullshit bills, leaving no operating cash flow over the next 3 months. I highly suggest training a lawyer and a CPA, which is an accountant. If you can, work out an exchange. These two individuals could save you thousands of dollars and many sleepless nights. I hear so many trainers today, I don't have enough money, I don't have enough clients. You're thinking of it in the wrong capacity. How can you help people? Get out there and do it. If you have to work another job while you are building your business, think of that as an opportunity to meet other people. Don't think of it as, oh man, this sucks. Your mindset dictates the long-term return. You need to be thinking, be creative, and surround yourself with awesome people. That's number 6, what I call trainer trusts. Tyler sent me his SWIFT analysis. He's one of our rock stars in La Jolla. And one of the things that he put as a weakness was that he doesn't surround himself with big, powerful thinkers. And that can bring you down. Who you surround yourself with. If you surround yourself with victim trainers who bitch about the industry, it's so hard to make it, oh my God, you're going to take in that negative energy. You need to be around people who are reading. When was the last time you sat down or you saw someone at a coffee shop in line reading a book? In line, I'm not talking about at the table. You don't see it because we're glued to our phones, so we got to be different. You will notice when you read my book. Again, I put a lot of books in here because you need to be learning from other people. Going online is toxicity. When you see, oh, this business coach said, shut up, it's not going to work. Quick fixes never work. If you were to walk by me on the street, and if I were to say, give me $100, I'm going to turn that 100 into 10,000 in a week, you would slap me in the face. Again, another boom, throat check. You would never do it because quick fixes don't work. Then why do we allow that bullshit to enter our minds when it comes to training and the business? I'm going to make 6 figures year 1. No, you won't. I've done a podcast on what it takes to get those 6 figures, $120,000. It's going to take lots of time, networking, getting client results, asking the difficult questions such as bringing your clients to breakfast and saying, how awesome has this training been with me? And you smile. Let's think of 3 people who can fill in these slots for me paying this hourly rate. Those are challenging conversations. What does the average trainer do? They sit back and go, if you know anyone who wants to train me, I'll love a referral. It's not going to work. Ben Johnson said, he that has been taught only by himself has a fool for a master. One of my favorite quotes in my book from someone else. Because look at this. The industry is a clusterfuck. I get trainers all the time who reach out to me because my number 1 question is, why are you choosing NASM or ACE over the Show Fitness CPT? Oh, bro, I've been training for 10 years. I know what I'm doing. That is a fool. I can't call this person a fool, but I know I will bet 10,000 of my bet buckles that trainer is not going to make it because he's never been taught the fundamentals. In Ed Catmull's book, Creative, they have these brain trusts, and it's a fundamental part of Pixar's success. They have meetings with no emotion. But in our snowflake era, people are so delicate with their words due to the fear of hurting someone's feelings. Doesn't happen in a brain trust. If your idea is stupid, someone's going to tell you it's stupid. I want to do this program. That's a dumb idea. Let's have a conversation to make it better. You need to grow thick skin and take some constructive criticism. That is number 6. Number 7, education. I'm not going to read this one because, as you know, we talk about that a ton in the Show Fitness CPT. You need to be the smartest person out of all the trainers who you know and constantly double down on learning more anatomy and programming. You'll hear that saying, you need to be the dumbest person in the room. Well, if a lot of trainers are dumb around you, you need to level yourself up. So be the smartest person everywhere you go and learn from those who are the smartest people. Professionalism and humility. Number 8, we had a top IFBB bikini pro, and let's just call her Ashley and Adam. They went through and did a seminar at a Hollywood gym. The seminar was subpar at best, on her phone the entire time. These people came to see this IG celebrity, and she sat on her phone, didn't give a shit about anyone except herself. And the cameras turned on. Oh my God, look at her. She's so bubbly. It's like, that's the bullshit that makes our industry toxic. Where was the thank you card? None. Tony Gentilcore gave a seminar, wrote a thank you card. That's the difference between a fitness professional and an influencer. Don't be the influencer, the narcissistic prick. Do not do that. Hunk tip, practice your elevator speech. In his book, The 4-Hour Workweek, Tim Ferriss talked about meeting Warren Buffett, one of the richest people in the world, and how they met in an elevator. A few years later, Warren remembered who Tim was from that short elevator conversation. Here's Show Up Fitness. My name is Chris Hitzko. I'm the owner of Show Up Fitness. I'm probably the only trainer you've met with a belt buckle. Bam! I take it out, smile, maybe do a little flex. We have the world's best and fastest growing certification with gyms in Santa Monica and San Diego. Did you know that the average personal trainer studies a textbook to become certified? What are some of your goals when it comes to fitness and nutrition? Boom. Quick, to the point. I got my point across. I'm different. I'm unique. I educated them on what the average trainer does and how I'm different. That's going to stimulate some questions in their mind because I am the person you're coming to for fitness and nutrition advice. Number 9, learn to be uncomfortable. If you consistently live in your comfort zone, then you'll consistently be average. Complacency is cancerous, and true growth comes from taking risk and getting up when you're knocked down. You will not get every client to sign up, and that's okay. People are going to say no because they actually do lack the money, time, or some other reason. But sales is really more intimidating for us because we look at it in a negative way. If you look at it in a positive way, it's going to be more enjoyable. Clients are not going to just fall out of the tree and start lining up because you got certified. You need to go out there and find them. That's why one of your best bets is to get into a gym environment and go talk to every person on the floor. If I come to your gym today, and if I ask 5 people at that gym, what is your name? And if they statistically, so 4 out of the 5 don't know who you are, that's why you're not growing your business. Introduce yourself to everyone in the gym. Go into the steam room, go into the sauna, get out there in unique situations within your environment and be known. If you don't have a corporate job and you're trying to get clients outside, don't just get on social media and thumbtack. Bing or whatever the hell it is, those other ones, Bark, I think it is. That's low-hanging fruit. That's one thing you can be doing, but you got to be pounding the pavement. Get out there, talk to people. They need to know your name. Number 10, when in doubt, refer out. We go through the ACSM, coronary artery disease risk stratifications. So to finish off, number 9, stop scrolling endlessly and do something today that scares the shit out of you. The more uncomfortable you get, the better personal trainer you'll become. Number 10, when in doubt, refer out. If a client has any red flags, contraindications to movement, anything from the ACSM, coronary artery disease risk stratifications, pulmonary disease, metabolic disease, cardiac disease, signs or symptoms, shortness of breath, tachycardia, anything like that, you got to refer out. We're not going to train someone who has a resting heart rate of 120, someone who has chest pain, numbness. No, that's not in our wheelhouse. But after you refer out, take that opportunity to reach out to that professional, take them to lunch, learn from them, but take that opportunity to educate them as well that you are quality. Most trainers are frugal dipshits. It's so ironic to me because they'll spend a couple grand on textbook certifications. They won't go to seminars. They won't spend $200-$300 to go meet with people and take them to expensive places. Get a fucking credit card. Everyone has a credit card. Now you hear the same bullshit excuse. I don't have any money, but you have $400 shoes. You have a stupid necklace and watch that is irrelevant for this conversation. Oh, dripping all over the place, whatever the hell the Gen Zers are saying. I don't give a shit what your drip looks like. How do your clients, how does your book of business look? Get out there and invest in other people, wine and dine them, because that's where you want to be around. You don't want frugal clients, do you? You want people can afford for your services. So you got to get out there, spend some money to make money. Your ROI. The answer for the last one, number 11, the commandments to be a successful personal trainer. Number 11, the answer is always yes. I have a great YouTube with Dr. Andy Galpin, and that's something that he says. We're reviewing bioenergetics, and if you want to be a successful strength coach, the answer is always yes. That means getting in early and staying late. You need to go back to one of the first ones I just said, build that career capital. And if you're picky in the beginning, you're missing opportunities. Now, with that being said, I had a great talk. Go back to the one I have with Joe from Lifetime, one of the top trainers there. If you're always getting into a 5 a.m. and staying until 10 p.m., you need to be strategic with your day. So you may need to take naps. Maybe you need to take a client from Monday and move them to Tuesday or Thursday. So maybe you need to take a client from Monday at 7 p.m. and move them to a day that's a little more packed. That day may be longer, but you're going to have that mental sanity on Monday. So I'm all for mental health. I like making fun of people. We're so delicate today. You should have a psychologist on your team as well. Reach out to some of them. But what it is we're so fragile on working more than the average person. There's someone who did a great Instagram post. If you want to be successful in anything, you literally just need to show up, because you're going to outwork 50% of the people just by showing up. Go back to what Luke said earlier. People don't even show up. So if you just show up, you're already in the top 50%. But take opportunities when others aren't. So for example, at Equinox, people always bitch about their 4 shifts. Don't be that victim. Go up to the manager and say, are there 4 shifts this week that I could take on? You already have 3. Well, now you want 5. That's taking responsibility. That's saying yes. Go up to the top trainer and say, do you have any clients who you don't like training? I want them. That's saying yes. And so don't misinterpret this by saying that you need to work 200 hours in a 168-hour work week. No, you can be smarter on how you get clients. You can be smart on the days you're in the gym by getting as many clients in there. Go back to the career capital suggestion. So if you have a client at 6 a.m., at 7 a.m., and 8 a.m., and you have the next one at, say, 12, we have a 9, a 10, 11. Those are 3 opportunities to reach out to clients in the past, or a client who's only training once a week, and put them into one of those slots. That's how you can always be helping people. So now they're going to get an extra workout. Oh my God, you're not getting paid for it. Tell them to bring you a bottle of whiskey. Tell them to bring you a snack, a smoothie, something. There needs to be some small barter, because you're giving them an hour for free. Yes. But that's how you're going to build your book and get the career capital. By thinking creatively, the answer is always yes, but we can do it in a way that's not going to kill you. At the end of each chapter, we get into homework. For this chapter, it's in chapter 3. We go over the shoulder actions. There's 17. I wonder, out of the 90% of trainers who quit within the first year, could they tell you the 9 humeral actions? In the sagittal plane, we have flexion and extension. In the frontal plane, we have AB and adduction. In the transverse plane, external, internal rotation, horizontal AD, horizontal AB. And then the scapular plane is called scaption. Now, the scapula can go up, which is elevation. It can come down, which is depression. It can upwardly and downwardly rotate. It can protract and retract, anteriorly and posteriorly tilt. Ask trainers if they can tell you the 17 actions of the shoulder. The 17 muscles are easy. We teach you that in the Show Up in the CPT. Get into the actions. Level yourself up. Hopefully you enjoyed today's podcast, the 11 commandments from Show Up Fitness. I know the Mind Pump fellas, they did one recently with the 5. Well, I just doubled you and added 1. The 11 commandments to become a successful personal trainer. This will be in the book, How to Become a Successful Personal Trainer. Please get this into your story. Share, give us a 5-star rating. And remember, smile and keep showing up.